Hi everybody, my name is Miss Baker. I am your baby's English teacher for the school year. I was hoping to communicate with many parents during open house, but I know it was a downpour, so a lot of us didn't get a chance to make it. I wanted to make this video so I can make very clearly what's going on in my class so that you're aware, because I know some of our babies need to communicate and they're not. So I wanted to help, ease the transition into high school. So I wanted to start off by mentioning that October 17th is the end of the first 9 weeks. So that means for all of their classes, they would need to make sure that they have passing grades by that date. About 3 weeks ago, I gave students a progress report. It looks like this. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, but it breaks down the assignments by classworks, extra credit, home learning, quizzes, and now we will be having a vocabulary test at the end of this week. So for certain classes, they'll have it on Thursday. Other classes, they'll have it on Friday. Everybody knows what day they have my class, so they're aware of what day they're supposed to take the quiz, the test. At the beginning of the year, I gave your children this document, and if you take a look at it, it has dates. This is home learning schedule for index cards, so it has dates, and then vocabulary assessment schedule for lessons 1 through 4, lessons 1 through 4. First 9 weeks, second 9 weeks, third 9 weeks. They have it all the way until March. They know when their homework is due. They know when they're taking an assessment. So don't let them tell you otherwise, which is why I asked them to get an agenda so that they can write the dates down. And I literally gave an easy A for them writing down the dates. That was just part of organization. Also, at the beginning of the year, I explained to them how to do their homework, which is index cards due once every 2 weeks in order to help them study. They give me the index cards for the lesson that we're working on, which is just 15 words. On the front, they have to write the word. On the back, at the top, they need to write the definition, and at the bottom, they write a sentence that they create with the sentence. That is literally the easiest thing. And after I give it back to them and I grade the sentences, because I'm grading the sentences, the rest is just a study tool, then they will need to proceed to study for the rest of the 2 weeks. And then we will have a quiz on that as well. So attached to that document that you see, this homework, I also gave them the calendar for the school year. And then I gave them the odd and even calendar as well, so that they're not confused about what day they have which class, because they already have the calendar with them. I also gave students a packet. This packet has lessons 1 all the way until lesson 10. They have words until like January at this point, so there's really no reason for them to not be able to study. So essentially in my class, when I assign, let's say I assigned lesson 4 this week, next class, they would give me index cards. And then next week, at the end of the week, is when they will have their assessment. Okay. This week we have lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they need to know 60 words. But again, they would have already taken lesson 1 3 times, because they took lesson 1 and 2, lesson 1, 2, and 3, and now we're taking lesson 1, 2, 3, 4. It's cumulative. It goes together. They can't forget the words. They have to keep, studying the same thing so that it can be ingrained. And when we go to write, they have a broader sense of vocabulary, which is essential for college and moving to a. I wanted to give you an example of our assessment. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Vocabulary quiz 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, it's just a list of definitions. And then they would have to get this little paper and then write accordingly to what corresponds with the definition. So a good way for you to test to see whether or not they have been studying is to just read off the definitions, either from the packet that they have, lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4, or their index cards that they give to you. That's a good way to help them study. I would take their index cards and ask them the definition. If they know how to spell the word and they have identified the word correctly, put it in a correct pile. If they have not identified it correctly, put it in the wrong pile, and then continue to review the wrong pile until all the words are in the correct pile. That's a good way to study. After we take assessment for lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4, we will start over with just lesson 5, then 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. These are some of the assignments that we've been working on together in class. This was a Hero's Journey poster. We learned about the hero's journey, and students were able to work together to create a poster. Some of their items have fallen off. So I'm sorry about that, but we're reading the Odyssey right now, part 1, and students are working together to understand the epic poem. Also, I wanted to show you the board configuration. It always has our vocabulary words, the date, the block schedule, the home learning that's due. Sorry about that, it got erased, but the learning target is there. And then what we're doing for the week is usually here with the essential question. And students have also been placed in groups so that we can work on differentiated instructions. There is the entire board configuration, but for now we're using this method right here where they know exactly where to go. So we've had 3 rotations so far, and the students are absolutely doing a phenomenal job. Parents who weren't able to make it to open house, welcome to my class. My name is Miss Baker. I am so thankful that you've allowed your child to come to Law Enforcement Officers Memorial High School, because here we really do care. So here's my experience. I got my bachelor's from Florida State and my master's and my specialist from Nova Southeastern University. I've been teaching for about 17 years and I absolutely love it. I'm gonna scoot past this here. Okay, oh no, I went too fast, sorry. Okay, so just skip past that. The previous slide was just to inform you guys what the English course had to offer. Obviously, reading, writing, thinking, speaking, listening is all a part of it. We use specific materials, which I'll show you in a little bit. We have salvas, and currently we're working on Unit 4. I've asked the students to, these are our textbooks. I've asked the students to rip out their unit because, as you can see, they can rip the pages out. So we're on Unit 4. So I asked them to rip the unit out and just bring the unit and place this underneath their bed until we start the next unit. We also have a test prep workbook that we work on. And we do this in class. This stays in class. My rules and expectations are pretty simple. Absolutely no phones or headphones in my class, and students know that they cannot curse as well. If I see a phone or headphone, I will take it and give it back to them at the end of class. If they curse, they will get a detention. These are like my 3 main rules of life. Also being respectful to one another. Late work is only turned in once, and that's on the Friday that the assignment was due. So if the assignment was due on a Monday or a Tuesday of that week, they can only turn it in to me on that Friday before 2:20. And even if they're not here or I am not here, they still must make sure that they email me, and my email address will be forthcoming. These are the only ones that I really care to review. The rest of them are pretty self-explanatory, and the students are pretty aware of what they are. Moving on, let's see. I think there's a really important slide here. Okay, so these are the materials that I've asked students to get. An agenda and planner is very necessary. Index cards for our homework that we turn in once every 2 weeks. Blue or black pen, and most of them have their spiral notebooks and paper. And then the do-a-tang folder is for the units that we place inside of them. Highlighters, pens, pencils, markers, paper clips. These are all essential items. Excuse me. Moving on to the next slide. This slide is pretty important because there are things you should know overall. We do use Google Classroom, so all students at this level have been given access to Google Classroom. They have to log in to Google using their student ID at students.dayschools.net. It will still log them in. I want you to also know that I grade on a 100% scale. I have explained to you guys that I have given this particular, oh, that shouldn't have been up there. Okay, hold on. If you'd like to reach me, this is my email address, milonbaker@dayschools.net. If you would like to do a Zoom meeting, no problem. This is a Zoom meeting ID I have right now. And the passcode, if it should change, I'll let you know. Also, the number to the school is 305-371-0400.